And now, right, we got Hex, flawless uptime. People thought this was a joke. Now they're mad at the chart. It's lullaby music, really, right? It's hard to believe that something like this exists. I get it, but you just gotta come to terms with reality. It just exists. Nothing we can do about it. Buy a steak and chill, baby. Shout out to Marketable Thoughts. You can't get this kind of shit for free anywhere else. And it's very important to understand that. And we're handing it out. People thought this was a joke. Now they're mad at the chart. So much luck, once again, because the facts don't give a fuck. Peace. Check. Nothing. Check, check. Man, I guess they're doing some different kind of censorship nowadays. 5 out of 5. Okay. All right. Weird. All right. Thank you guys for holding on and staying with me through this troubleshooting process. Not sure what was up with that. I really didn't. I don't. All I did was remove myself and add myself to the stage. But here we are. Here we are. All right. So, first of all, welcome. Hope everybody's staying warm if you're in the Northeast. We haven't really had a significant winter like this in years. So it's nice. I like seasons. But you know, we got to learn how to live within the environments we are given because that's where we're at. And that's the unique thing about the human species. We survive because we're able to adapt, right? But it's those that cannot adapt, that get stuck in limbo, that can't think outside their given box, their given set of parameters. It's really those individuals that ultimately suffer the most because they can't see past their noses, right? And we're definitely going to talk about Richard Hart and the Interpol nonsense and the Europol nonsense. I mean, look, first of all, if you know anything about anything, you know that there is literally no relevance to the real world in any of this news. But we'll tackle it in in due course of the stream, because of course that's what we're talking about. That's why I titled the stream "What is fake crypto and why is it dangerous?" Everybody's out here engaging with these gurus online on social media, not understanding what they're doing. I understand the whole idea behind leaving the comment there to let others see it. But the fact remains, what others are seeing is a snippet of information without any context. So whatever you think you're doing is not relevant at all, period. Unless you literally have a whole squad of people coming in behind you after you send that tweet to engage in it. And that's literally stupid. That's not realistic. That's called a click farm. And that's what you're battling, right? Those fucking bot farms you guys see in the pictures, that shit is real. That's what it's always been online. That's why it's on each and every single individual to stand up for what's morally correct, not for what some fucking pedophiles make up and deem is correct, which is what we're seeing in crypto nowadays, interestingly enough. So you have to be very careful with what you think is real information, what you think is valid information, what you think is bad information, good information. Like all those aspects of information matter because you don't know what you don't know until you confirm what you do know. Right. And then how do you confirm that what you know is even worth anything when everything you're coming across is invalid and you haven't come across any valid information just yet? How do you know that if you stop looking? Because a lot of people stop looking. A lot of people don't look once they get to a certain point and they feel like they've achieved a certain goal. Hell, I got to that point at one point in my life where I thought I was done and I needed nothing further from life in terms of mental expansion. And boy, was I freaking wrong. And that's what makes life worth living, interestingly enough. And people don't No, because how rare is it for a person that after they finish college, they're even in books anymore? I mean, the average person thinks that because they went through college, they accomplished something. Think about that. If you've been to college, you know full and well you ain't do shit in that motherfucker. Period. So, what's really going on, right? Like, that's reality. That's not fake. Fake is what we experience from day to day. That's fake. Waking up to go to work to make somebody else rich. That's life. That's everybody's life. Did people forget that all of a sudden? I'm just trying to understand what happened because it seems like we have a group of people presenting themselves in crypto, specifically within the real crypto aspect of crypto, to down talk the last standing tower that is real crypto. Think about that. All you have is all this fake stuff that people pretend is crypto, right? Where they talk about market caps and all that shit, right? Um, that's what they love to talk about. Their fucking market caps and shit. And you guys got to realize there is nothing you can do. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what your intentions are. Doesn't matter. What you should be doing, nobody is doing it except for me. And that's a sad fact. And that is sharing strictly what's true and what's real and disregarding the fake. How do you think you're going to combat a tidal wave in a tugboat? I don't understand the logic. You do not own social media platform. You do not determine what the algorithm does. Where is the logic in what you think you're doing when you're engaging anything that is contra the narrative on social media? I would love to understand the logic because I am clearly not fucking smart enough. And I'm perfectly okay with that. Don't hurt me none. I'm old. I know there's a ton of shit I cannot understand because I'm not young and dumb enough to. Because after a certain point in time, you're just not stupid enough to be dumb. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with learning from others that can see what you can't. And a lot of people, they think they understand things and they don't understand that what they think they understand is just a lie because they don't know what the truth is. So how the hell can they ascertain what is true versus what is not? I mean, you fucking can't. In case you think you can. I mean, my tune has been the same since day zero. I've never changed my tune. You know why? Because I don't fucking have to. That's what consistency is. I don't have to do anything except say the fucking truth. Wow. So easy. And that's the fucking point. Pretty fucking simple. And, I just want to highlight the very simplicity of what crypto is. And I'm going to tell you, You might want to take a picture, download the paper, do whatever you got to do, because eventually this will be wiped off the internet. You cannot find this by asking ChatGPT for it. Do you know that as an individual? Are you aware of that? Are you aware of that? The fact that whatever you understand to be artificial intelligence is manipulated intelligence. There's no such thing as artificial intelligence. That shit is not even artificial. It's just fucking fake. It's GMO intelligence. That's what ChatGPT and Claude and all that shit is. If it's not open source, it's GMO intelligence. I mean, if you used to use Claude, because you cannot anymore, you would be well aware and understanding exactly what they're doing. And that's the main reason to use these tools and instruments, is to get a grip on what their goals and plans are. There's no other way to understand unless you're engaging what they're doing. So how can you profess to be in the know when you're out here buying shit coins and asking for exchanges to list your preferred coin? You're clearly a fucking clown that has no clue. And that's okay. You know, everybody starts out not knowing any better, but staying there is the problem. And that's what people opt to remain. And this is why I will always revert to the first line of this document: a purely peer to peer version of electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another. Emphasis on without here. Without, my God, without going, going, going through a financial institution. Is this clear? Because it's definitely not clear when you come across cocksuckers like this talking shit about RH. I mean, need I say more? Let's be honest. These are people that just live off of narratives and don't actually service the population. Another clown fuck boy. And the issue again is that people think this type of shit does anything. All you're doing is adding to the validation of the system. You as an individual mean nothing because you're giving the system what it wants: engagement. So people thinking that they're doing something by posting their little crass replies, you're not doing anything. You're just looking stupid as fuck because nobody else gives a fuck because they're ignorant just like you are. These are the facts. I mean, look at this shit. This is a real comment from a real person. You think you're changing this dumb fuck's opinion? I mean, we're 15 years into this thing and people do not know anything. I still have to refer to this constantly like it's 2009. What? What the fuck? Y'all need to understand you are talking to your fucking self, assuming you even understand what I have on the screen right now. That's a big assumption. Because when you look out in the Twitter sphere, it's pretty fucking evident that motherfuckers do not know anything about cryptocurrency. Period. Hands down. Don't know shit. They will justify their stupid decisions to justify what they want to be. Doesn't matter if it's crypto or not. That's what's true. And that's why I don't fuck with nobody in this fucking shanty town shithole, wannabe fucking community can all suck my dick. Because nobody is out here doing the work that needs to be done. Everybody's out here filling in their pockets, acting like they're doing something. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? A bunch of fuck faces pretending to support RH while promoting their fucking coin. Funny. Funny. And again, really, we like this is what we're doing. We're applying to retards. And again, this is nothing I haven't said before, right? Bitcoin, the government loved coin, solves this. Yeah, sure. Yes, it solves that. Sure. I mean, the fact that this even has to be explained is the problem. You think you're going to educate anybody that has no interest in taking anything besides what the mainstream media says at face value? I mean, I got a bridge to sell you right now. Just Venmo me all the money. Don't worry about it. And you know what? Since it's going to be more than $600, you don't have to worry about the feds looking into you. So you good. And we covered. And these are the facts. You think this shit is solving anything? Tweeting the homos online where you don't even really know if this is them even tweeting. It's honestly just a fucking bot most of the time. Disguised as a persona that you think exists, but you don't actually know anything. Unless you're going out and meeting that fucking weirdo, you don't actually know that they exist. And this is something that's very important to understand in the age of fake artificial intelligence, of GMO intelligence, because deep fakes and deep all that is out there. So you have to become very astute with technology, with respect to technology and where it's going and what's actually possible and what's really fake. A lot of people don't know. And that is going to cause you some serious heartache and pain because guess what? A lot of people do know. And that doesn't mean they need to give a fuck about you not knowing because they literally do not. So where does that leave you? The individual. I mean, the information is out there for you to learn. So you need to learn it. Because if you think that entities, do I even have this shit open here? What is this?
Leading cause of death in the United States.
Yeah, this is a good one. We'll save this for last. Because that's a good one. I don't think people really even know that, but you should know it. What am I thinking here? Yeah. Hold on. Where is this? Let's see. First of all, fact remains Richard is not hiding. So I don't know if people really understand what's happening. Right. And this is one of the many reasons why I just consistently disrespect people and their fucking bullshit egos. Look at the time right now within your respective time zone. This was 40 minutes ago. Does it look to you like this guy's hiding? Now, I'm not here to get all legalese and all this shit, but I told you dumb fucks, and not you people that are viewing, but the haters that think they understand what's going on, but are out here crying about the SEC like they fucking matter when the SEC can't do shit because they got no jurisdiction, which is why nothing's happened ever. And nothing will ever happen. So why don't people just shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down and read something? It's really that simple. I mean, it's embarrassing at this point that people pretend to be doing crypto, pretend now, yet y'all engage with fuckery like Stacy Herbert and all the other Bitcoin losers, or anybody else that just participates in fake crypto, knowing full and well what it is. And a lot of people pretend that they understand what it is. I mean, why else would some nonsense like this make headlines? I mean, CEO, really? Oh, that's not what I. Oh, yeah, this is it. CEO, really? Hex and Pulse Chain founder Richard Hart. I mean, first of all, didn't find it, but cool that you use the word, bro. You think you're smart. That's fine. Wanted by Interpol, which is cute, on charges of tax evasion and assault. Assault. No type of assault mentioned. There's always some type of assault. Pretty generic, bland comment. Uh, apparently he only speaks English. Not sure how he's living in Europe, but okay. Place of birth, United States. Apparently he's a U.S. citizen too. Apparently he's 45, and his date of birth is October. Cool. And he's wanted by Finland, which is very interesting. Not gonna say much else on that, but interesting stuff. Bitcoiners are cheering that another OG crypto head is being charged with tax evasion. They love governments and can't help but show it. Meanwhile, Hart and Ver are fighting for your rights daily with their lives and capital. Interesting. Of course, small amount of followers. No surprise there. And, it's just more of the same across the board. So imagine how many people actually understand what Interpol is. How many people actually understand that the European Union is a dictatorship that really has no jurisdiction over anything, yet they just constantly pretend to? This is what we see every time they make a headline. And the entire crypto sphere is rife with these type of people that claim they know and understand crypto until something like this happens where everybody's true colors comes out because they don't know what to do, and it's obvious by their actions, which is what you must follow people's actions. They're not hiding. They can say whatever they want, but their actions will always reveal the truth in understanding. I mean, you got lawyers pretending to understand the law. You got people pretending to understand to read, and they cannot, and they do not. When this whole thing against Richard, well, yeah, it was really against Richard because none of this is against code because you cannot want code, right? Code cannot be wanted. It's there. Go delete it or whatever. Do whatever you want. Uh, so I did a whole like 2 to 3 hour Twitter spaces on the topic, like July or August, early August 2023, literally a couple days after the SEC claimed they filed charges or whatever. And look, if you don't understand what that means, let me explain it to you in English. What it means when the SEC files charges against you, well, your entity, because it's never really against a person. The SEC has no jurisdiction over people. Did you know that? Did you know that? That that's unlawful? Do you people even understand how the law works? I mean, it's just comical to me that so many people claim to be adults, claim to be sovereigns, claim to be all this shit, yet they don't fucking know how the law basically works, to the point that you can see on Twitter their ignorance. And then when you don't show them any respect, they get bothered, like if they earned respect. Like, bro, this is online. You don't get no respect, first off. And if you show you're a clear fucking moron, you're definitely not getting any from me. It's online. You lucky I'm even tweeting to you. People need to wake up and smell the crack, because evil doesn't stop. Evil doesn't take a break. Evil doesn't give a fuck about what you're doing on Sunday. Doesn't give a fuck that you have to go to work on Monday. It just does what it's going to do. And I don't think people really appreciate that. You think you can just come, buy some crypto, and go take the rest of the day off. And, it's cute you think that, but that's not reality. Reality is they don't want you to have any financial freedom, period. Any. They don't even want you to have the ability to buy your own fucking food. They want you to take the crap they give you and fucking shovel it down your throat and smile like the bitch that you are. That's what they really want. But deep down, you don't want to be a bitch. You want to stand up. So do that. It's real easy. Just follow the leaders, not the losers. The leaders talk and sound and write like me. There's no confusion. Everybody else is confused. They think they have to clamor and explain shit that doesn't need explaining. What are you sitting here telling motherfuckers there's no CEO to code? If you got to explain that to people, then you don't understand what's going on. And you're part of the problem, because you're just highlighting this stupid ass tweet and giving it engagement and making it more stickier in the algorithm. And these are people that claim to understand how the internet works. It's fucking hilarious, because clearly people do not understand how the internet works. And I'm the one that fucking hates it and talks shit against it and doesn't spend all day on it. So people really need to just sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, and learn before they act. Because you're just literally arming the enemy. Look at the engagement on this tweet. 241 likes or reposts, which nobody even does anymore. So 241 is a huge number. 1.5 likes, not that big. 203,000 views though. So we're getting free promo, because clearly this is faux pas, right? But for those that don't know, it's somewhat real. And that's the thing. A lot of people live on TV. They're fucking morons. They don't understand anything about the real world. They don't even understand what the term jurisdiction means, which is why they're out here buying shit coins in the first place. They're out here listening to shitcoin shillers and buying Sheena Inu and whatever the fuck. Buying fart coins and shit like that. Not understanding there's no liquidity behind those coins. Not understanding that market cap is irrelevant. Not understanding that you might be able to get in easily, but can you get out? That's a whole nother question sometimes, And then on top of all of that, is it even crypto? Because, damn, is it even purely peer-to-peer version of cash? And no, because most of the time that shit just lives on an exchange. So you think it's crypto, but it never was. So you're just living a lie, thinking you know things you don't actually fucking know. Now, do people even know, what the price of Bitcoin even means? And I tweeted it. Somebody wrote it in an intelligent tweet earlier, and I retweeted it. Let me see if I can find it, because it's really basic, and I don't think people even know that anymore. And I feel like you should. And it's very simple. The price of Bitcoin is literally just the cost and the difficulty of mining the coin itself. So it's supposed to go up by default, which is why that guy could come up with that stock to flow model, which is based on the change in the rewards over time. This is really basic stuff. And if you don't know it 15 years in, not sure what you've been doing. Because this is really all the price of Bitcoin is. It's not demand. None of that. Nobody has $90,000 to just buy one coin of anything. I mean, that's like buying a bunch of Lexuses and Beamers and Benzes. Like nobody's just buying 490,000 of them for safekeeping. Like, do we understand that? I mean, put a yes or no in the chat. I need to comprehend that people are just not fucking retarded, because that's pretty significant to understand. There's a reason Hex and Pulse Chain and PulseX and Ink and Pulse Chain are designed the way they are. Because 21 million coins, right? That there's 21 million coins. That's the claim. The claim is 21 million coins solves the problems of the world, right? But that's essentially disregarding the fact that there are other coins with fixed amounts, which there are. So, what are we saying here? Are we saying that the world exists in a vacuum where the only thing that exists is Bitcoin and dollars? And nothing else, and maybe some gold and silver on the side? Like, is that what we're saying? Because that's how people are acting, right? And that's why knowing the first line of this abstract is the key. Pretending that you know it and not exercising that knowledge is what leads to losers. People that fucking sell their coins for a 200x, one instant route to do 2 million. You can't help people like that. All you can do is laugh at them. That's literally all you can do. What else are you supposed to do? Today it became apparent to me that I'm almost at 300 streams. I had no idea. I had done so many because I had quit so many times. But the thing about it is, how do you quit when you see shit like this every day? I mean, it's never ending. The shit storm of Jew fuckery is never ending, and people just fall for it on repeat, thinking it's some type of improvement or accomplishment. And it's not. You all are falling for the fucking okey doke. You being able to spend your crypto via MasterCard or Visa is the same thing as you telling the feds, hey, I got crypto, come and fuck me in the ass. Thanks. While you wave and smile. Like, what's wrong with you people? I literally was just talking about this 2 minutes ago. And of course, this is from yesterday, 24 hours ago or so, but it's like, it's one fucking onslaught after another. Yeah, sure. Fair enough. But again, that essentially means that everything else is in a vacuum and doesn't exist, which is fake. Right. And that's the whole thing that's important to understand. This is why it's critical to grasp the price of Bitcoin and what actually comprises it. It's not market demand, it's literally the cost of mining that coin. Now, if the idea And I can't find that damn tweet. I'm looking for it. But it's basically what I told you. So you don't really need to read the tweet, but I just wanted to show it to you. But anyways, the whole idea is that you just continue putting yourself in these traps and you never leave their system. So all that convenience you're constantly looking for is the opposite of what you should be looking for. And it's critical that people understand that. And just in case I'm not being clear about what exactly is going on and who exactly are your enemies and your opponents in this sphere of life, let me enlighten you specifically because I did tweet about it. Now, I want you to just take a moment to read this tweet. And if you don't want to read it, I'll read it to you. 160 children were rescued from the Jewish Lev Tahor sect, which is accused of child rape, trafficking, abuse, and forced pregnancies. Authorities had attempted to raid the community before, but faced persistent obstructions. This is in Guatemala, by the way. Guatemala's Attorney General confirmed the discovery of suspected child remains and bodies buried on the premises. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is exactly why these motherfuckers left Germany and ran to South America, because they can do all this crazy shit down there and be ignored. Because mental slaves are mental slaves. And if that's not what we are, then I don't know what we are. But we are that at a minimum, which is why these people right here are the same people that don't want you to have financial freedom. They want you to keep using their fake money. They want you to keep believing the lies that they spew. They want you to keep believing that they have jurisdiction over your authority to exist. They want you to keep believing that you're engaging in commerce with criminals when you're not engaging in anything but code. All you're doing is writing not writing, but running code. That's all you're doing. And unless you're building in crypto, you're not writing anything. So understand when you're being manipulated. Understand that you, hold on, let me put this over here actually. There's a plan being devised against you in your face by the likes of Michael Saylor, where he publishes ridiculous shit. And let me fucking enlighten you on what I mean exactly by ridiculous. Now, this is supposedly something this guy wrote, which of course we know he did not, but is being attached to his name. And this is the headline: Digital Assets Framework Principles and Opportunity for the United States. Now, let me read what the tweet says. Michael Saylor publishes Bitcoin and crypto framework so the United States can lead the global digital economy. Now, I want you guys to understand that this is more likely the way I can see Trump going, because Trump professes to not know shit about crypto, right? And let's not forget, in case I overlooked this point, the pricing of crypto is entirely predicated on the cost to produce a coin. Therefore, this goes completely against any green notions. Period. Right? Like, I hope that's clear. So, every aspect of his existence at this point in time, given all the narrative twists and turns, right? It really means that the coin itself is a threat now that entities such as a Michael Saylor through what's the name of this thing? What's the name of this? MicroStrategy. Sorry, I was gonna call it Monster Strategy. MicroStrategy. Um, through that entity, they own 490, almost half a million Bitcoin. Just that entity alone. The U.S. government owns like 200,000. I think the UK government owns like 100,000, something like that. Those are the numbers. So we have a private entity, well, a publicly traded entity because it's not private, which is why you see all those things happen over there. If you guys don't, I should do a fucking stream on this. So when you're a public entity, you have to do certain things in order to remain public. Otherwise, you get delisted. So it's like a gun to your head. You're not just a public entity living off the fucking pig's teeth. There's requirements, conditions. You gotta toe the line of that club, basically. This is why companies get delisted. This is why they get listed, etc. So you guys got to understand, nothing happens in a vacuum. That is crucial. Nothing happens in a vacuum. In fact, all vacuums do is suck things in, they collapse things. So nothing can persist in a vacuum. And this is why I've always been dissuaded by the notion, especially in this fucking bootleg community, that there's a so-called echo chamber here. There's no echo chamber when you're fucking doing shit online, unless you want to remain ignorant and consistently turn people away from becoming more knowledgeable and lying all the time. I mean, this is what we see from people that constantly lie to achieve their goals. They persistently obfuscate the facts and hide behind lies instead of just sticking to the truth and giving the people what they need. I mean, this is one of the reasons people hate me, because I don't side with their bullshit little shitcoin projects so that they can get rich. Why don't you build something to support the ecosystem instead of your fucking pockets? How about that? No, that's too much to ask. So I guess I'm gonna have to do that too. And I'll get fucking shit talk for that too. But it's okay, because I don't give a fuck. Because fake foxicans, foxy cunts as I call them, they don't fucking matter. Those people are not gonna be here. And if they're only here is because people in the community allow them to be. Because I don't engage with them. They don't exist to me. It's one thing to shit talk people, it's another thing to waste your time on them. And I don't waste my time on people. Irrelevant. You need to understand space, time, and opportunity if you're going to be successful in this life. There's a difference between calling out the facts as they are and wasting time on bullshit. So let's get back to it. Because now we are on the other side of the cusp. Right? And what I mean by that, because the last stream I did was called the cusp. This time we're on the other side of the cusp. Now we're seeing where things are going. Right? And I've been talking about this for weeks, if not months at this point. Digital assets framework, principles, and opportunity for the United States. Look at what's number one. You should be smiling like me right now. Look at what's number one. I mean, if you don't get the fact that this guy is a Fed by now, there is no helping you ever. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing RH can do. There's nothing anybody can do to help you. You're just a dumb fuck that's never going to get it. Simple. Simple is that. And I'm sorry if you're offended, but I don't give a fuck at the same time because that's just true. I don't know how much more obvious it can get. And yeah, man, I'm all ready for Christmas. I wrapped up my Christmas shopping yesterday. After I'm done here, I'm actually gonna head to the downtown and I'm gonna make one final lap around the city and see if there's nothing else I want to give people. But yeah, I'm done. I like to do those kinds of things early because yeah.
I like to go out just to see what's straggling. Because a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of times they already start with the sales before Christmas even begins. You just got to know where to go. So, but anyways, yeah, if you don't know this guy's a Fed by now, man, nobody can help you. You're just screwed. Period. Taxonomy, defining digital asset classes. Wow, this guy's so smart. Establishing a clear, universally understood taxonomy of digital assets is critical to advancing policy and fostering innovation. Oh, he's so smart. He's so smart. Isn't he? Oh my God, man. Uh, and people don't get it. I mean, this drops and all of a sudden, I mean, yeah. Some things are so obvious that it almost causes my brain to explode that people just buy into it. Let me explain something to you guys before we even continue with this. So what's happening? Why is this happening now? Well, we know these faggots got 30 days left. And it's not clear yet who Trump's side with. I'm still on the side that motherfucker is not on our side. And that all that's happened is that they've decided to slow the train down like it was the 90s again. Because in the 2000s, they sped it up. People don't understand this. But I'm going to explain it to you one more motherfucking time. When I was a kid, it was apparent to me that all they do is trickle in these changes so that people don't notice. So over time, things happen slowly. It's not as apparent that they're fucking you in the ass when it's a little bit at a time versus when they're just sticking the whole thing in, no Vaseline. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, like I told you guys before, crypto's all fine and well, and I'm a proponent of it. But you have to understand why it's necessary in order for it to even matter. Because in reality, it's not necessary. And it's crucial that we understand that as a society if we're going to find any kind of peace. Because I don't honestly think we're going to find anything. And I don't think there's ever going to be any solutions because people live in this mind space where they think there's coexistence, possibly a possibility to coexist with these type of people. And you have to be clear that that's not possible. They use you. It's the only reason they even allow you to exist. Otherwise, they will try to eliminate you. Look at every celebrity or athlete that's died recently. Case in point. They don't hide these things from people. You know, they do it in your face. So you either see it or you don't. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get banned after this stream because it's pretty pointed. But it's a very important stream that people need to comprehend. These are the same people that are going after RH because now it's apparent that they're going to lose control of the SEC. So they're using the Interpol and EUPOL fucking fake ass entities to do it. Because only in Europe do those kind of entities have traction. Nobody else gives a fuck about what they're doing or have to say or anything like that. They don't operate in the real world. Nobody gives a fuck what they have to say. In fact, they need to get permission to operate in any outside in anywhere. They need to get permission to operate. So whatever they're doing or wanting is not relevant. So these are the people you're afraid of if you think RH has problems, because he literally does not have any problems, period. But what you are going to see is a coordinated attack on an individual that's giving us the opportunity to find freedom from this crap Because this crap is merely a function of the pedophile runners that rule the world. So if you support this shit and this shit, then you're the problem. You're not part of the solution. And if you engage with these people online, you're not helping our cause. You're just making them more powerful. It's the reason they shit talk. It's the reason they down talk. You give them the ammunition that they need, thinking you're doing something by educating people that have no interest in being educated. They're just click farms, bot farms, whatever you want to call them. This is what's happening in crypto. This is the fake crypto. I mean, are you guys seeing this? You're not hearing about any of this. Nobody's telling you about this. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person harping on this crap every day. Because this is what's going to replace what you think is crypto, which is all the fake crypto. Look at the ones that are there. I mean, I don't know how else to make it obvious to you. But you keep supporting this, you're never going to win. It's very simple. 1 + 1 is 2. So you can have all the reasons you want, all the fucking excuses you want. But that's what's happening. Period. You're giving them all the ammunition. And they don't need to do anything but let you cook because you're stupid. And you don't care that you're stupid because you don't want to learn from people like me and RH. You want to pretend that stable coins is a thing. That's what you want to do. You want to pretend that stable coins is a solution. And then you wonder why the price of Hex, Pulse Chain, and Ink and PulseX is always going down. Because you don't understand that we're not supposed to be using stable coins. Stable coins are their way in. I've explained this numerous times, and we will continuously explain it. Why do you think they only attack certain stable coins and not all of them? Why do you think they only attack certain aspects of crypto and not all of it? I know you guys try to be open and whatnot, but as an OG cypherpunk that's been around since day one, speaking from 2009 forward, not the early 80s and 90s, you guys are all fucking wrong. Period. If you do anything I don't do, you're wrong. And I'm not tooting my own horn here. I'm just giving you the fucking facts. You are not winning by engaging the state in their bullhorn. All you're doing is giving their bullhorn more power. If you've never seen the show Stargate, watch it. If you've never seen the movie Monsters Inc., watch it. If you've never seen Ghostbusters, watch it. You know, all the premises are the same. Premises are the same. When you succumb to the enemy's desire, you will always fail no matter what the reason is. And everybody always does it. Doesn't matter. You're not winning by educating these people in any which way, shape, or form, which is what you constantly find yourself doing on the internet. You think Bankless doesn't fucking know what the fuck they're doing? You think Altcoin Daily doesn't fucking know what the fuck they're doing? Yeah, they fucking know. That's why you got to approach it like Hexo does, where he shit talks him. Doesn't try to educate him. Ain't no educating to be done. You need to bruise egos. You need to hit motherfuckers where they're hurt if you're going to be approaching them online. That's what I do. That's what Hexo does. I just do it to people in the community because they're that full of shit. I don't even give a fuck about outside. Outside is too stupid for me to worry about. It's the motherfuckers in here that need to get destroyed first and foremost. They are my fucking primary targets. That's why I don't let it go, and I never will. So all you motherfuckers thinking that you're competing against RH, you're never gonna live here. You might as well keep it fucking moving. Because you're just gonna be here on the side. You're never gonna fucking matter. Not as long as I'm around, you're not. Definitely not as long as those codes exist. So do the math on that one. Because people constantly lie. That's all they do online. It's funny. It's even funnier that people constantly fall for it. So I'm not really sure if it's just all coordinated or if everybody's just dumb like that. I don't really know. But something that people should really focus on because it sets a narrative, it sets the tone, and it definitely does the opposite of what you want the algorithm to do. And that's what's important to understand because look at this. You think this is ever going to list Pulse Chain? You think Pulse Chain is ever going to be listed here? I mean, you got to be a fucking moron to believe that. And I want you to grasp that's what the fuck it is. It's not an opinion. I mean, Ripple is creating a stable coin and it's being reported like if it's Christmas time. Like if somebody discovered America. Are you kidding me? Who gives a fuck? Clearly somebody does because they want you all to know. And it's important that you realize that because these are the contextual clues that will tell you to stay the fuck away. What is wrong with you guys? It's just never going to happen. The idea is that you continue to fall into the same traps. That's why we even see dumb shit like this being posted. And no disrespect, dude, but it's dumb because it's never going to happen. Why would they put real crypto anywhere where you could access it? Why would they do that? Explain that to me like I'm 5. Help me understand what I'm not seeing that you think you see. What the fuck? Like, seriously. That's what's going on here. There's a reason crypto exists. And it's very simple. It's not so it could be like traditional finance. Period. So anytime you see anybody promoting shit like that, run the fuck the opposite way. Because all they're going to do is get you in trouble. They're not there to help you at all. Crypto is very specific for one thing, and that's long-term positions only. Meaning you dollar cost average in, forget you own the shit. 5, 10, 15 years later on down the line, you don't even, wow, what the fuck? Simple. That's it. That's all crypto's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be World Reserve. It's not supposed to be whatever BlackRock says it is. How about that? Very simple. Let's see. Crypto is not whatever BlackRock says it is. Are we clear? Let's see what comes up. Just for the fuck of it. I mean, this is funny. Because they're dancing now, aren't they? They're all dancing now. I mean, just look at these headlines. BlackRock's head of crypto doesn't see Bitcoin as a risk on asset. BlackRock just quietly confirmed a devastating Bitcoin price, blah, blah, blah. 16 trillion by 2030. BlackRock is quietly backing probably some fucking fund that's buying Bitcoin, whatever. Is Bitcoin a risk on asset? Blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, if you did this search, hold on. I think we can custom date this motherfucker accordingly. Let's do this. Let's see what we get. Let's see what this looks like. Let's just see. Let's see what we get. Just curious. July 17, 2018. Let's see what happens here. BlackRock CEO clarifies the company's stance on cryptocurrency. According to Fink, none of BlackRock's clients have expressed interest in exposure to cryptocurrency so far. And he believes the market is not yet mature enough for BlackRock to get involved. When it becomes more legitimate, saying, quote, when it becomes more legitimatized, when it has the true open nature of it, whatever that fucking means, when you identify, come on, bro, when you identify who the players are on both sides, that's when we will probably look at it as an alternative to all currencies. This is 2018, July 2018. Hope is obvious what's happening here. I mean, this has been a setup the whole time. Why would they be ever willing to invest in it? Why? You guys got to understand that. Why? Why would the people that cause the up and downs in the market want to put their money in crypto? Just because their investors want it? Really? That's why? So this is around the same time. This is probably going to say the same crap. Yep. Let's see. Oh, it's all the same thing. Yeah, this is from November. So as you guys can see, they've been setting it up the whole time, right? How else do you get to the point where you own 200,000 Bitcoin out of nowhere? Because just 6 years ago, they were claiming not to be fucking with it. But look at what we got now. Now they got their pet laying down what the law is going to be. Right? I mean, think about this. The whole point of crypto is not this, it's the opposite of this. And yet, this is what people think is supposed to happen. How funny is this? This is hilarious. I mean, let's just read through the titles. I'm not even going to read everything, but legitimacy, establishing rights and responsibilities for who? I mean, yo, if you don't find this laughable and you've been around for more than 10 years, then you're the fucking problem. Number 3, practicality. Oh, hold on. Rational compliance to wait for it. Empower innovation. Yo, come on. Come on. Son, let me tell y'all something. Do y'all understand that in Europe, people don't even fucking IPO anymore? I think the total dollar volume of IPOs in the European Union, those 28, 27 states, countries, whatever the fuck you want to call them, was like $1 billion. Yeah, I think it was some shit like that. Let me confirm that. And I'm talking about for this year so far. So I'm not even talking about no last year's shit, no nothing like that. I'm talking about like right now. And there's a reason I'm talking about that. Let me confirm something. How what was the dollar volume What was the IPO dollar volume in the EU in 2023 and 2024? Let's see what they say it was. And by they, I mean ChatGPT. Let's see. Okay, so in 2023, it declined from 2022 by 35% to $10.2 billion. Do you guys understand how small that is? $10 billion out of 28 countries. That's a billion per country on average. Oh my God, I'm sorry. That's only if it's 10 countries. So I'm dead wrong. It's way less. So whatever Europe has going on, not relevant. Because anything that happens over there, how can I say it? Is to limit any type of economic expansion, growth, anything. So nothing that happens in Europe financially is ever relevant. Basically, where I'm going with that, and that's important for number four. Capital markets are just fine. Literally. I mean, let's take a look, shall we? Let's take a freaking look at how the capital markets are doing. Let's just come on, man. Just give me a fucking chart. Jesus. Whatever. Any chart, bro. Just pick one. Come on. Damn. It's not even the one I wanted, but all right. We'll take it. Let me now we gotta understand exactly what I mean when I say what I say. Right? If the financial markets needed if the capital markets needed a renaissance, wouldn't they be at zero? That's not what we see. We see these motherfucking capital markets making new highs every day, like it's the 19 motherfucking 20s all over again. So, and hold on, just for perspective, let me give y'all fact. Hold on, make it even better because this isn't even giving the whole picture. Let's put the Nasdaq index on this bad boy, and this is only going back to 1985. There's other longer term charts. This is just the last 40 years. This isn't even that long. So understand the lie that's being sold to you. Seriously. Because it matters now more than ever before. Because the next step, you're not going to have an option if you're not careful. And that's where we're going. And a lot of people, I mean, they side with this shit. They side with the notion of a fake dollar being the primary tool of choice to transfer value and not what it should be, which is whatever the fuck people want, which is what the original markets were supposed to be, which is why liquidity was so poor, which is why you always saw that fucking need for the dollar in between because people don't get it. And, you know, screw all that. We need a capital markets renaissance, apparently. Because in Europe, while they're only doing $10 billion a year in IPO volume, and that's down 35% from 2023 or from 2022 to 2023. This year was markedly worse. They didn't even do double digits in Europe, the EU. So please explain to me how the US needs a capital markets renaissance when, let's see what the US did in 2023. I mean, and the funny thing is, even the US has been down because of all the regulatory nonsense that people got to deal with just to start a business. just to start a business. So check this out. In 2023, only 20 billion in IPOs, a total of 108. And let's see, Europe only saw 36. I'm sorry, that's 2020. They didn't give me the damn values to count for 2023. Hold on. Oh, interestingly enough, oh, excuse me, guys. Hold on. What is this? Huh. So apparently, I was looking at a specific market when I saw that. That must have been Germany. Germany is the market with the billion, because Europe itself as a whole saw a 10% increase in the first half of 2024 relative to 2023. How about them apples? Ha! Making me look like a fucking retard. So it must just be Germany that they're fucking with. So let's see. In the U.S., 2023, the U.S. did 20 billion. In 2024, U.S. is doing much better with 33 billion. And oh well, it's almost over now. Let's see if that's for the whole year. Yeah, apparently up to now, that's the most up to date figure is that 33 billion number. So the U.S. is far from needing a capital markets renaissance. Now, what it could use is less fake regulation, less fake regulators. That'd be a good idea. Oh, a little hater in the chat. How cute. Man, because I smoke more weed than you and I'm smarter than you, homo. That's cool, bro. But guess what? I'm going to light up one more time and be smarter than you a whole lot longer. So it doesn't really matter what you got to say. Moving on. So yeah, capital markets renaissance. Markets at all-time highs. That's just the NASDAQ. Let's look at the E-mini. Well, let's look at the S&P 500. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, capital markets renaissance required indeed. Indeed. I mean, just for clarity's sake, this goes back to 1871. Just so we're all on the same page. Funny, right? Capital markets renaissance. Sure. And, let's also keep in mind every time we're looking at a ridiculous dollar valuation, why is that the case? Why is it everything is now a staggering amount? People forget, and it's funny that people forget this, but I'm going to have to remind you, don't forget ever again. But what you're about to see is one of the many reasons why, but I'm going to get to the real reason why here real shortly. But, look at the red and look at the blue. The red has only recently outpaced the blue. But you got to realize they're not even on the same scale. So what's really going on here? Well, what's really going on is that both of these items are on two different scales. The right scale is the blue scale, federal net outlays. And then the red line is gross domestic product. So the gross domestic product is approximately 10 times less on an index basis than the actual amount of dollars being spent by the federal government. And this is what people need to understand. This is the number one reason why dollars are not worth anything. Nobody's watching what's happening with the purse strings ever. Nobody apparently cares. And the thing about it is look at when the crossover happened. It's so interesting, right? 97, 98, 99. And then what happened? We all know what happened after that. The destruction of the dollar went into hyper mode after that. Because what happened? Infinite global wars happened, is what happened after that. So don't be mad at me because I smoke weed all day and you're too stupid to know the basics. Crazy. Because this is right in your face. Like, you don't even got to be smart to figure this shit out. Like, this is black. You were either alive or you were not. And if you were alive, then you fucking saw it. Let's see. What am I looking for now? Yeah, consumer price index. All urban. Let's see. Here they got something new I haven't seen before. Because here's the thing, they also tell you everything. They don't hide nothing. This is all their data that we're using to make all these analyses and whatnot. I've never really been the type of person that's gonna go out there and scrape data and be like, "Oh, look what I found. This is why they're lying." I don't even have to do that. It's not necessary. That's what's amazing behind all of this research. They put it out for you to find it. So if you're not finding out what the fuck is going on and why, it's literally your own fault. Nobody else's. So if you're mad, go suck a dick. Because it's really that simple. Now, look at what we got here. We have a consumer price index for all urban consumers chart where the specific focus is on purchasing power of the consumer dollar in US city average over time. Now, the 100 area is listed as 1982 to 1984. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to the beginning of the Federal Reserve, which is 1913. And then we're going to see what the true value is, because that's how you really analyze that actual valuation. Let's go with 1914 as the 100 date. So what this is saying is that the value of a dollar is equal to $1 on the 1st of January 1914. That's what that means. Therefore, if the value of a dollar on the 14th of January, on the 1st of January in the year 1914 is a dollar, then what the fuck happened to this chart right now? And why is the value only 3.2 versus 100 in 1914? Right? This is the entire reason crypto came into existence here. As the story goes, as I experienced it, this is when cryptocurrency launched. And in that short time frame, the valuation of Bitcoin has gone from 0 cents to 109,000 at one point. And that's a function of the difficulty to produce one Bitcoin. And over time, that difficulty is going to increase ridiculously. This is why now corporations are the only entities that can mine it. And rarely people can, because now you're only getting 6 point something per block, if I remember correctly. 6 and a quarter or something per block. I can't remember anymore. But that's exactly the number. I'm just not sure if we're in that part of the cycle yet. But the next one is 3 1/8 rewards per block. So the more difficult it gets over time, the higher the valuation will be for the coin. Very simple. However, that doesn't mean anything, because again, if there are really just 21 million Bitcoin, which I've also proven is not true, but that's a whole nother conversation and a whole nother stream. What's to say there aren't another 100,000 more coins out there with a fixed amount that another group of people cannot buy and create the same fervor over, right? It's literally just a narrative that's been set by those pedophile individuals that control the media. It's simple as that, folks. You cannot lose sight of the facts. So the fact that Bitcoin was even here first doesn't actually matter. It doesn't. Ask Jeeves was here first. Who cares? That's the reply. Hold on. Ovidian. If I trade options, yes, I trade options and futures. Specifically futures on options, and the options I trade on stocks are long-term options, and they're called leaps. Those are what I trade specifically. You want to get back next month? No, that's not what nice. Yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. It's you gotta have multiple ways to generate income. You cannot rely on just one thing. And I was shocked to learn that that's what everybody was doing back then. I could not understand that even that had to be explained at the time, that people need to be doing multiple things to generate income. I thought it was a given because there is not one thing in America that can provide enough money for anything that you're doing for this chart's reason as a reason right here. This chart is the exact reason why. We're talking about, we started with $1, which is what 100 represents, in 1914, January. And today we're at 3.2 cents going back to November last month. Man, this shit drives me nuts because ever since I was a kid traveling in my country, I tried to understand the disparity in the way we live in America versus the rest of the world. This is what's driven me to be the person that I am. My whole entire life has been predicated on this shit. So if there's something I know, it's this: nobody competes with me on this. It's not possible. I don't care for fame. I don't care to be the Gammons of the world and none of that shit. I don't care for none of that. I don't give a fuck. If you happen to come across my channel, take advantage of the facts and save yourself, because everybody else is focused on making their nut off of you and your viewership. I'm just trying to share the facts. I'm not trying to call to arms anything. Because the fact is, the problem is very complicated, and a lot of people are not going to devote the time required to understand it in order to succeed, even though it's pretty obvious, in my opinion. It's right in front of us. Everything is that chart. Every problem that exists is predicated on this simple chart that's in front of us. End of story. This is how it goes, man. This is why crypto was created. It wasn't created for shit coins to pump your bags and all this other shit. This is why RH made something that's divisible, portable, that's actually money. Store is a store of value. All these basic things that I detailed about Hex years ago when I first started streaming about it. It's all true. This is why Hex stood out to me as being that thing. That's why I promoted it so hard. And my mind has not changed. Nothing's wavered. Everything is the same. That's why I don't have to say anything. I'm done repeating myself, right? And I've said that a million times, and that hasn't changed. But you got to understand what the hell is going on. Otherwise, none of it matters. I'm well aware. Oh my God. Thank you, Alan, for tweeting this, because this is exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Wish I had this dude on stream right now. Y'all gonna love this. Yo, shout out to Al, bro. Bitcoin has no CEO apparently. Well, we just proved that it has at least two, where one is saying what should be happening. in your country, not you, just him. He knows best because he bought tons of Bitcoin and got other people to understand that they need to be buying tons of Bitcoin too, apparently, because it's going to 1 million per coin. And right now, we can get them at 100,000. So we can lock in into the cool 10x, you know? It sounds so cool. And then we can get everybody else to lock it in and get it to grow to, quadrillions, Fuck it. like, Like, do you not see that they're still talking in dollar terms for fuck's sake? Am I the only retard seeing the obvious problem with this conversation here? Oh my god. I had to get all this shit out of my system. Fuck. It just drives me up the wall that is so easily a scam. I mean, literally, I gotta read this stupid ass conclusion. Conclusion: seizing the digital assets opportunity. I mean, fuck. Listen to this dumbass shit. By establishing, and this is all I've read. I haven't read anything past this, but this is all I need to know to understand what comes after. By establishing a clear taxonomy. Are you fucking shitting me? That's how dude starts it. By establishing a clear tax framework. A legitimate rights-based framework because it doesn't exist already, apparently. And practical compliance obligations. Oh, oh, the most important part. The United States can lead the global digital economy. Man, if you don't grasp how loaded of a sentence that is, then you're part of the problem and should not be making any comments in regards to crypto, period. Just shut up and let the adults handle this. A capital markets renaissance fueled by digital assets will unlock trillions, and hold on, not just trillions, but 590 trillion. Oh my God. Empower millions of businesses and solidify the US dollar as the foundation of the 21st century digital financial system. The US dollar, not Bitcoin. All right, I'm done. That's enough. I can't take it anymore. So obviously a scam and it just pisses me off. The more people can't see how much of a scam it is, and then they got the nerve to engage with motherfuckers that call this man a scammer when all he's done is set it up for people to win. And all you gotta do is make it happen. But that's too fucking hard. He has to win for you too, apparently. It's baffling to me that people wonder why their life sucks. You shouldn't if you're not putting in any work to make it better. It's comical because Satoshi's vision wasn't everyone giving their keys to middlemen, it was removing middlemen. But yeah, here we are celebrating just that via stable coins. I mean, this is just crazy. It's crazy. Look at that. You think Paul Shane's ever going to be on here? Base is on here. If you don't know what base is, then all right, but you should probably look it up because it's that obvious that Paul Shane is never going to be up on here. Period. Never. You'll find Ripple on here sooner. As soon as their RLD drops and all that bullshit is on their little network or whatever the fuck, unless I'm missing it already, they're going to be on there too. And that's what you need to understand. Those are the facts. Seriously, the facts. And you know, it's funny. I didn't even go to the chart that I wanted to go to on this site. Definitely not, because it doesn't even matter. Simple as that. This is good enough because this is what's true. This is the main reason. This is why so many people are going to get trapped in this Bitcoin trap, which is ultimately just going to trap them in CBDCs and shit like that. But yeah, they'll figure it out when it's too late, like always. We're going to wrap up the little segment with this, and then I'll go into my little plug and all that. So just check this out. Don't leave. This is good stuff that you should know. And this is the main I mean, I knew this decades ago. I don't know why this isn't common knowledge, but you should learn this from this gentleman.
Leading cause of death in the United States is medical intervention. Medical intervention kills about 1 million people a year. Doctors kill over 1 million people a year, and people go to their doctor and think nothing of it. Problem with our medical doctors is that these very good people make the biggest mistake of their life, and they go to medical school. 85% of what they're taught is unscientific nonsense. And then they're cut loose on the general population to practice unscientific nonsense. The medicine we have is now so far behind the science that it is impossible to bring it up to date. We have to take the medicine we have and discard it and start over. Where did we ever get the idea that we can help a sick person if we give them poison? It's a pretty stupid system, but it makes enormous amounts of money, and the drug companies have enormous power.
That's simply how it's going down. And I really want people to understand that. You know, it's not for the faint of heart. It's what's true. And because that's what's true, you got to do what works for you, and the hell with everything else. So, all right. I don't normally do this, and damn, I even forgot to put my banner on. Hold on. So I'm a big proponent of trading in traditional capital markets. I've been doing it for a long time, successfully, unsuccessfully, etc. You guys know how that goes if you've been participating. Ultimately, I've stumbled upon something pretty significant, and I plan to share it with people. Now, at first, it's going to be limited because I'm not going to be holding anybody's hand. I don't got the time. I don't have the inclination. I got too much of my own shit going on that I got to take care of to be holding anybody's hand. So, because I decided I can't do that, and I'm not gonna, I'm creating a whole website, and that's taking a whole lot longer than I anticipated because of all the features that I'm doing and the stuff that I'm creating and all that stuff. Long story short, I'm creating a few websites. The first one is going to be something for entrepreneurs specifically. So if you're looking to create a business or you have family and friends that are interested in creating businesses, I'm creating a tool specifically for people like that are interested in market research, domain name creation for business purposes specifically, because that's pretty freaking important. SEO research, market intelligence, just a very cool tool that's going to really give people the leg up that they need if they're trying to start a business. I don't actually have a website name for it yet because I'm at the point where I'm creating all of the logic to allow me to do that, to allow users to do that. And it's just going to be fucking cool because man, the things the brain can do. And this is why I laugh at people that think AI is supposed to like replace us or something. Like, hey, we're even with the most we talking about the shit they ain't dropped yet. It's still not there. I'm sorry. Like, we got a long way to go. So, anyways, building a website. It's coming along nicely. I'm building multiple tools. Building some pretty cool shit. And this website is just one of the many things. It's called marketvolatility.org. The focus is on volatility and its impact on markets and why it matters. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of features on here. I'm gonna excuse me. I'm gonna have a glossary. I'm gonna have a knowledge graph. I'm gonna have all these cool things. I'm gonna have trending story section. I'm gonna have all these actionable insights that you can take and use. Uh, Add them to your toolbox. Understand all these different trading concepts. I'm gonna have a trading game. That's where your education is gonna come from. You're actually going to learn different facets of trading, different market asset classes, all these different things that you're naturally going to want to tackle and go through anyway. So I'm just creating this game that's a mix of Path of Exiles and Dark Souls. It's literally a combination of both because they both literally encompass what I need this game to encompass. So it's very simple. It's very straightforward. It's going to be great if you've never traded before. It's going to be great if you've traded before. Because at the end of the day, everything we do is mental. And it doesn't matter whether you're going to set up a store on the corner to sell freaking socks or cakes or soda. I mean, it doesn't matter. Right? It could be batteries, for fuck's sake. It doesn't matter. You still have to get things set up. You still have to set up the logistics. You still have to get the product to the location upon which you choose and decide to sell it. Right? Then you got to sell it to customers. And then in between all of that, you got to market to people so that they know you exist and they come buy the shit from you. So all this stuff has to happen all at the same time. Don't be shy. Get in there, fight. Do what you got to do to make that money because that's what it's about. At the end of the day, everybody gets up every day hoping to be better off than they were the previous day. Everybody. There cannot be one person that wakes up hoping to be worse off. I mean, I don't think that exists. Even if they're homeless, they're hoping to get better off, right? Nobody's really looking for that, even if they decide that. So, anyways, I'm hoping to drop a feature list soon, so you guys can realistically see what is going to be listed on this site. But just a little bit on the key features. It's going to provide in-depth insights into market dynamics, practical strategies for managing risk, which is important, and essential tools to help people maneuver the financial landscape. We live in a time where you see entities trying to attack people for trying to help others find financial freedom. And I'm trying to do it in a way that I know I can by not just using their system, but leveraging their system in a way that I really can't share publicly, and I'm not going to share the trade secrets. This is stuff that, I looked into it. I can't IP it. And the reality is that I wouldn't want to IP it, even if, because then I would have to put it on paper and then people would have proof of what it is that I have in my brain. And I can't have that. But to wrap it all up, needless to say, I'm going to have a premium service that's going to provide levels, right? And I've talked about these levels before. In fact, let me see if I can get a chart open again. Just one that shows the levels I'm talking about, because these levels, there's other people that have created similar types of strategies, but they didn't take it to the level that I went in providing specific areas of attack. And that's what people need, right? People need to understand that they have to wait until the market reaches X point before they can attack, right? And that's not obvious to people. It might be obvious to some people, but it's not obvious to most. Most people are dead set on click, click, clickety, click. And it's all fine and well if you know what you're doing, but if you don't, not a good result. If you're just playing yourself. So let me show you guys what the premium service is going to be a little bit about. I've talked about it before, but just not really in this much detail. So bear with me, because I'm actually selling something for once, but it's going to actually make you money. It's not going to be typical. Oh my god! And the amount of money you're gonna be able to make is gonna be really cheap relative to the cost. I mean, it's a pretty fucking good deal if I do say so myself. All right. So if this shit would just load, that would be great. All right, give it a second here. It's just a lot going on here. All right. So I'll give a quick little rundown, not too much, because this is premium, so you got to pay for this. But long story short, I'll give you guys a couple of snippets of what it looks like. The little logic is, when you're addressing capital markets, and this is the hardest thing to do. It doesn't matter if you're Paul Tudor Jones or a rookie. If you've been doing it for 50 fucking 60 years like a pro like him or a rookie, the hardest thing to do is to know when the market is out of hand and when it's not, when it's moving and when it's not. That's the hardest thing to know. How do we know the market is trending? How do we know the market isn't going anywhere? How do we know what the market's propensity to move up and down is, to go sideways? How do we know that? The average person doesn't think about that. The average fund doesn't think about that. And we're talking about professionals here, right? They fucking latch on to the one thing that they know and they don't look past that. And after being in the markets for so long, trying to figure this shit out to a Jim Simmons level. James, if you don't know James Simons, look into that guy. He's a beast. He's deceased now, but he's the guy that drove me to figure it out to the point that I figured it out, because even he didn't come up with this. His shit was all automated. I haven't automated my shit yet. Once I do, it's gonna be something crazy, because it's gonna be better than his shit, definitely. Because his was more predictive. Mine is not really predictive. Mine is mathematical. It's purely quantitative based, and it doesn't miss. Literally does not miss. So what do I mean by that? Well, the idea is to frame the market and give yourself an opportunity to understand what the market is doing so that you can understand what to do. And that only comes from understanding what the market is actually doing. And that means you have to give the market some type of context. And I've been able to do that using math successfully. And that's what I'm selling here. And I've been verifying this shit since literally the middle of June, nonstop. And this is an idea that's been in my head for over a decade, literally probably 15 years at this point. And it's foolproof. I'm not giving away nothing about how it works, but understand that it's volatility based. Understand that it's implied volatility based. I'm using the market's penchant to respect volatility and derivatives pricing to generate these levels. And if you're familiar with pivot points, it's something like that, but it's nothing like that. But it's something like that, because these levels, they change every day, and they're a function of what the market is doing on a daily basis. So the levels are going to be different every day. There's not anything static except for the fact that they work just like Hex. Like that plug, don't you? But that's how it's going down. So as soon as I got all that stuff laid out, I will update you guys accordingly. I was really trying to drop this like in a weekend and shit, and I really just hadn't thought about it thoroughly until I got to the point where I was ready to launch it. And then I had to start thinking about the implications about what I was doing and what that was going to unleash. So I really had to pull back, because I was already ready to launch this almost a month and a half ago at this point. But I had to stop because it wouldn't have been right. So with the market volatility website on deck and all of that, I'm going to really be able to give people the avenue of approach that they need to generate serious side income. And now I'm going to tell you some heads up. This shit going to be expensive, because you're going to be able to make that money regardless of whether you trade $50 contracts or $500 contracts. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, when you join, you will learn. But it's going to be a hefty price tag. But it's going to come with a free trial because you got to see it's real first. You got to see it's real first. Because only then will you see, oh, well, this shit is free. Because it really is free. Even though it's a crazy monthly cost. But it's going to be free when you realize what the fuck I did. And just as an example, let's do a little bit of math just before we wrap it up. Just because it's really ridiculous. Where is this measurement shit? I think it's here. Yeah. It is really ridiculous. And this, in short, when it doesn't go outside of the one levels, that means it's just consolidating. So it's hard to make money on those days. And typically when price is just hugging that gray line, that means it's not really going to move. So you have a visual regarding what you should be concerned about and what you shouldn't, right? Because if you wake up, this is the open, this is 6 p.m. Eastern. So if you wake up the next trading day and you see it's 9:30 and you see the market, this specific market has only gone up 200, 150 points after a 800 point fucking day, right? Like you understand, it's not really moving much. But you got to have the context to understand this type of stuff. And that's what my website is going to provide, an understanding of this material so that you are actually able and capable to address the markets in a successful way. Because it's not like you should stay away from the market on these days where it's not going anywhere. It's that you should understand that the market really isn't going anywhere and you should be treading lightly. Because that's ultimately what's hard to ascertain about the markets is when should you be coming at it full throttle and when should you be coming at it with respect to risk? Because that's the hardest thing to ascertain from participating in any market. I mean, look at how people treat crypto. It's crazy, but it's basic, but people can't do it. So let's look at this one particular instance where the market opens 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock, excuse me, and you got a whole hour to sit here and watch the market do what it's doing. And then ultimately it decides to take a shit, it decides to go to that first level, which is kind of rare actually. Overnight, it doesn't really do that often. But it did it. So that's a cool 100 and let's say 70 points. Let's make it a cool 160, right? Let's say you were late to the trade. 160 points times $20 a point. That's excuse me, $3,200. One trade. You don't have to hold it past that point. But notice how price bottomed out there. Bottomed there, bounced up, came right back to it. And then not only that, it retested it on the way back up after spiking down. Came back up right into that zone. Just enough to get sold and go right back down. Continuation. So in reality, this trade was a trade you could have just held if you understood what volatility was telling you for a cool 350 points. 7 G's. In about 7 hours. Or let's see here. More than that. 12 hours or so. Roundabout 13 hours or so. Not bad. You could have just slept the whole time because the idea is understanding what the market is going to do. And that's what my website is literally going to provide you with. The tools. I'm not going to give you the levels for free, but I'm going to give you the knowledge base to be able to assess the market and understand that that's what the fuck is going on because it's really not rocket science. It's really not. The levels just give you the precise areas of where the market is going to take an interest in stopping and pivoting that day. And as you guys can see just from this one example, I mean, let me get rid of all this shit again just to highlight, because this is just one day. If I pick any day, it's going to look the same. This is the open, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm not even going to talk about this here. This is proprietary, but if you was watching the market, you will understand the importance of the second level and other stuff that I'm not going to release. But again, we come back. So what were we at? Like 5 here, 6, right? 7. So it tested all these times and then flew right through that gray line, only to just come and hang out at this level here, hang out at that second level there, hang out, and then reverse. So these things are real. I wouldn't think they'd be worthy of selling, but goddamn. I'm not gonna tell you how to make money, but I'm gonna give you the ability to make money. That's what this is, in short. So that's what market volatility is. That's a premium service. There's gonna be other things that come with that. But that's pretty much what's going on with the website. Hex Monkey, thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate you for listening in. Thanks, Wells Only, for still being here and delivering some hard truths, even though it hurts. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. But it needs to be said because it's really life or death, and it's hard for people to grasp it because it's just money. But we don't want to put ourselves in a situation where the next thing you know, we're China, because things look one way one day and the next day they look different. I mean, before the election, we were all well aware of what was possible with respect to these people remaining in power. And the fact that people act like them just being on the sidelines is okay is kind of crazy because we know they're insane. But yet people are resting on their laurels already just because this Trump guy's coming in. Wrong attitude, because the enemy has not gone anywhere. They're right there watching and waiting. And we're not really sure what Trump is bringing to the table this time around. It sounds good, but let's see what happens, because it seems like they're really going to come to tax crypto. That's what it seems like to me, and I'm not sure how that's a positive. There's nothing positive about that. And then they're parading this clown around people like he really understands anything that he's saying. And he doesn't. And it's really as simple as the first line of that Bitcoin abstract. And, all of that stuff, how can I not have a website? Like, there has to be a repository of real information out here. It's crazy. So, check out my website. It's still under construction, but you can get in touch, send me an email if you have any comments, concerns, questions, and I'll try to get back to you as often as possible. I'm in the building stage, so I'm not really checking emails that often, but I do check them from time to time. So yeah, I'm probably never gonna show myself publicly because it's not worth it from a financial perspective, and people need this information. So don't ever expect to meet me, but you can verify any information that I put out there. And this is the thing that you need to learn how to do in the age of AI, because the AI is there to lie to you. It's not there to tell you the truth. And it's imperative that you, as a human being that is being told you're going to be replaced by AI, it's imperative that you understand that. It's so imperative because there's nothing left after that. You got to understand that. So to believe that there is nothing after that is to believe that your life is pointless. That's very demeaning. That's very demoralizing. Do not believe that. Nowhere near that. So anytime you see a little Sam Altman fuck with no eyebrows talking, understand that I rejected his accounts with my job because I don't want that motherfucker doing shit. This was years ago now, but I slowed him down as much as I could at the position that I had, but I couldn't do more. But it's shit like that that keeps me fucking working because I'm in the game. Unlike some people that are just at home jerking their dick, tweeting. I'm at another level now, though. So I got to be even more careful. So you guys remain educated. And if you're uneducated, get educated, because nowadays AI is not going to save you. It's going to lie to you if you don't know. Talk to it about crypto. See what it knows. And if you know what you're supposed to, that's your confirmation that they're lying about everything. Think about it. Funny comment. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what's funny? I'm gonna have a little area where people can go buy little knickknacks that I think are interesting. Just because I think it's a little reflection of me. Like, for example, there's this chick that sells this fucking popcorn. Oh my god, yo, some good popcorn. And it's not even like gourmet, but damn, it should be because it's good. It's expensive, man. It's good. It's good for a nice little sugar fix. Caramel. Man, yo, when I put it up, y'all gonna be like, damn, this motherfucker wasn't gonna lie. You'll see, you'll see, you'll see. But yeah, I never thought I'd be a person to be doing a website, but yeah, clearly it's necessary. And hopefully it's cool enough to attract the young eyeballs it needs to attract so that people have the right information in hand, because that's really what it's about. Yes, there will be. There will be. Yes, there will be knickknacks, patty wax, and bones for the dog. Yes. Yeah, they are. Britain is one of the jurisdictions that's already taxing. I think Ireland might be another one. Canada is one. There are several countries. Singapore is one where they are already doing it. And the U.S. is the next one on the list because, in my opinion, that's the main reason to get Trump in line. I can't see any other reason. And speaking of, an hour ago, just in on Watcher Guru, I know you guys are familiar with that tweet, with that Twitter handle. President-elect Trump nominates pro-Bitcoin Stephen Moran to lead his Council of Economic Advisors. And anytime you hear the term pro-Bitcoin, all you need to understand is that means pro-taxing Bitcoin and crypto-related shit. That's all that means. But all right, guys, we're at 2 hours. Thank you guys for sticking with me this whole time. I look forward to providing you guys with this website and all these other cool tools I'm building. I won't talk about the other ones because they're not as cool. They're really more for business stuff, so it's really not cool to talk about, but it's entertaining to me. Anyway, um, catch you guys on the next one. You guys have a good rest of your Sunday and be easy. Peace.